Good morning, Year 4, and this is your literacy video for if you've got this booklet or this booklet on Thursday the 21st of January. So we're going to start first with this one, okay, and for today's learning we need to find page number 10. And I'm going to start by reading the title. Now this title is a little bit different than our usual titles. So it says, what is it called? And if we look at the end, I can see a piece of punctuation. Now, does anybody know what that piece of punctuation is called? If you do, tell whoever is at home with you, helping you with your home learning. And it is a question mark. Okay, so it says trace over each word. Write the right word under each picture. So you'll see that these words here are a little bit faint, and that's because you're going to go over it in your best handwriting using your pencil. And whilst you're doing it, I want you to sound it out and see if you can see which picture it would match to. So let me just get my pen. I'm going to trace over it and sound out at the same time. H, a, t, h, at, hat. Now, just looking at these pictures to see if I'm right, and I can see a hat, so I know that I must be. And underneath this picture, I'm going to write the word hat. H, a, t. Now, the only tricky word that I can see is this next word, so we're going to look at this one together. So we've got a s, h, a, e. Now I know a s and a h make a sh sound, sh, and an o and an e also makes a sound. It makes an o sound, sh, o. Now looking at these pictures, can we see anything that looks like a show? No, we can't. So we've got to think, well, we must have to say that O sounds a little bit differently. So I know that we can say that sound as in oo sound, so sh, oo, and then we've got a picture that would match. Now, once you've traced your letters and you've written it, underneath I'm going to set you another challenge. So just like yesterday, how we wrote some sentences, today we're going to do the same. But today's a little bit trickier because you haven't got any sentences here to help you. So I'm going to start with hat, and I'm going to write a sentence. So, using my best handwriting and my capital letter to start, the boy wears a hat. So the boy wears a hat. And then don't forget your full stop at the end. I remember Miss Colclough doesn't like football-sized full stops, okay? Now, because you've got 6 pictures, that means you've got 6 sentences to write. And you can always write them in your green spelling book, okay? Now, let's move on to our next booklet then. So if you've got this one, again, we're going to be looking at page number 10. And this one looks a little bit different than the normal text we've been looking at. And you can see that it's got a photograph on it, but that it's a black and white photograph, which means it's a photograph from a long time ago. Okay, and the title is Amy Johnson. So I think that this is going to be about a lady, because I can tell it's a lady from the picture, a lady called Amy Johnson. So I'll read it to you quickly and remember to follow along with your fingers. Amy Johnson was born in Hull in 1903, so a very long time ago. She began to take flying lessons when she was 25 and went on to become the first ever woman to fly alone from Britain to Australia. Amy flew to Australia in a gypsy moth plane, which she named Jason. During the Second World War, Amy helped the Royal Air Force by flying planes around the country. In 2016, giant sculptures of brightly coloured moths were hung on the walls of buildings around Hull to celebrate Amy's life. Now, before you answer the questions, it would be a good idea for you to have a go at reading that again on your own. Okay, but remember, if you are struggling, ask somebody that's with you, or you can always rewind this video to when I read it. So let's look at these questions then. Question number 1. How old was Amy when she started learning to fly? Now, it says in the text, this one. So I want you to read through this text and see if you can find an age. And remember, an age is how old you are. Question number 2. Why were moths chosen to celebrate Amy's life? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skim through that text looking for the word moth to see if that gives me a clue. Oh, so here I found the word moth. And there I found the word moth. So I'm going to read those 2 sentences and see which one explains. Amy flew to Australia in a gypsy moth plane, which she named Jason. Now, does that sentence answer our question? Why were moths chosen to celebrate Amy's life? And I think that it does. And then our last question, is this text fiction or non-fiction? And how can you tell? So fiction is a story, it's made up, and non-fiction is fact. So thinking about Amy Johnson, was she a real person or was she made up? She was a real person, wasn't she? So that must mean that the text is non-fiction. But remember, you've got to tell me, how do we know? Okay, so think about what sort of information is included in there. Now, please remember, Year 4, to use your best handwriting when you're doing your learning and to put capital letters and full stops in your sentences. Once you're done, take a picture and send it to the Year 4 email address so I can see how well you are doing at your home learning.